We'll take questions at the. Okay, we have one more person coming in. While we're letting people in, I want to talk about a few programs coming up. There's Jeff Shealy, Pilates on Wednesdays at 11:30 at the Senior Center. Jeff is absolutely wonderful. I do his Pilates whenever I can. It's, sorry, I disappeared. It's a really fun program, and you can just sign up, bplct.org. Mara's going to have a short story chat on Wednesday, the 28th. Wait, I come back. At 6:30. And then on Thursday, November 12th, I'm going to be doing a book discussion. And it's This Tender Land by William Kruger. And that is at 5:30. So you can sign up for all those programs on our event calendar on our website. And we hope to see you all there. And I'll be back in a second when I figure out where my head should be. Okay. Take it away, Mara.
So this month is a very, very exciting month because we are at a wonderful restaurant for Cookbook Club. This is our first time doing this, and we're being treated greatly by Chef Kevin Moran. And I wanted to tell you that this is part of the One Book in association with Eastern Connecticut State University, where we are looking at Hispanic cooking. And tonight we're going to especially be looking at Mexican cooking. So Chef Kevin Moran from Take Five Cookery in Hartford was drawn to Mexican cuisine back in the late 1970s by the colors, texture, and flavors of cuisine. While in Fresno, California, Kevin had the opportunity to work with two women at a catering company who were of Mexican descent. Lupe from Oaxaca, and Pauline from Michoacan invited Kevin regularly to their homes to help prepare for celebrations. Day of the Dead, birthdays, Christmas. Kevin incorporates what he learned from Lupe and Pauline in his menu selections at Take Five Cookery. It is a pure pleasure to have Kevin here, and we are going to keep you guys all muted, but at the end, we can unmute you for questions, and feel free to also put questions in chats or let us know if you're having any trouble hearing. We are here to help. Okay, Kevin.
Well, hi, and I got to thank Bloomfield Public Library, Maren and Sheila for having Take Five Cookery join you folks tonight. We're really excited. We have a cast of cooks and my wife, owner. We're going to have a ball. We're going to start off with something that Lisa and I developed in 1989 when we were in Fremont, California. And we both worked for different corporate restaurants, but we love to cater. So our extra catering would be always done on like a Sunday and stuff like that, because we all work Monday through Tuesday through Saturday. So this one dish is probably one of the most popular we did. It's called Kevin's Chipotle Shrimp. And every time we did this, we always got calls back on the food, and they said it was great, but they said, what was in that shrimp? And so that's how we got the idea of putting it into the bottle. Here it is here in the bottle. It's Tom Clare did the drawing. He does the cartoons for the New Yorker magazine. So Lisa got him to do the whole design for the front, and it's really great. The number one ingredient is honey. So it's a great sauce. Out of the bottle, it's spicy, but you know what? It marries with everything really, really well. So I'm going to start here by sweating some onions. And by sweating, I mean I'm just going to make them translucent. And it's going to take a short period of time, but it'll be fine. I'll get them garlic in. And then we'll hit it with a little bit of white wine. And I'm going to hit it with some magic and say fire in the hole. It's going to go up to about here, I hope. I could use a rubber spat. So, we're almost there on the sweating. And you can go to kevmansauce.com. It's mostly available at the restaurant, but it's also available in some stores down on the coast. All right, so now I'm ready for the garlic. Put a little garlic in there, get it going. So it's just, I can just get the aroma of the garlic because I don't want to burn it. Okay. Chardonnay, my drink of choice. And I'm going to allow this to reduce just a little bit. It's looking good. Wish I had one of those mirrors up here so you can see what's going on. But it's coming down. It's getting thicker, and it's going to get to a point where we're going to call it frog's eyes, where the bubbles are as big as frogs' eyes. And that's when we're going to add the shrimp, and then we're going to add the fire to the whole. We'll let that work just for a second. I'm going to chop some cilantro. It's funny, when Lisa and I first were introduced to Mexican cuisine, it was in the North Shore of Boston, where a forward-thinking owner of our restaurant we both worked in and actually met each other there, brought in Mexican food to the Boston area, well before there was a Taco Bell on the East Coast, by the way.
Wow.
And it was slow to start because people didn't know. They thought it was always going to be really hot food, but Mexican food doesn't mean it's going to be hot. Matter of fact, the workhorse of the Mexican cuisine is a tomatillo, which is a green tomato that is kind of tart. It has a little skin on it. A little husk on it.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
And then it has some stickiness. The reason it has the stickiness on that is it's a natural bug repellent.
Oh.
All right, so here's what I'm looking like right here. I don't know if you see it, but that's pretty well reduced.
Yeah. Kevin, can you say the name of the dish again? Because somebody didn't hear it clearly.
I'm sorry?
The name of the dish you're making?
This is called Kevman's Chipotle Shrimp. Kevman is,
Oh, Kevman.
my friends call me
Okay.
Kevman.
Kevman Chipotle Shrimp. Okay.
Thank you.
Wow,
Wow.
just wicked. I used to hit it with grain alcohol. That was a bomb. So I was telling you about our experiences, and we love the textures, as you said in the introduction, and the flavors of it. But both Lisa and I had to get over cilantro. We hated it. It just tasted like soap to us. And now that's all we use. We love it. So
Did you get past it?
very soon.
Because my son won't eat it. He says it tastes like soap, but the
Yeah.
rest of us love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? You get through it. So this is, let's say, 3/4 done. So I'm now put some chipotle sauce in it. And I have some toothpicks over here, so you girls are going to get taken care of again.
Thank you.
So I went to Fresno to work in a catering company, which was a great opportunity for me because it got me to get to California and get to look around a little bit. And Lupe and Pauline's family were actually, her father's from Aguas Calientes, and her mother was from Puebla. And the cool thing about that was it taught me all about Mexican cuisine and how much it was around there. It was crazy. I just thought, you know, okay, so it's beans and rice and tacos and that kind of stuff. That's what I learned in Massachusetts. But the thing is that calling Mexican cuisine Mexican food is like calling European cuisine European food.
Right.
There's so many different characters in Europe about all the food, from Italy to France and Scandinavia and all that. Well, the same thing's going on in Mexico, from top to bottom. And the other cool thing about it is there's a lot of influences from Asia, from the Middle East, Mennonites who are making cheese, the cheese that we use in our burritos, called Chihuahua cheese, made in the state of Chihuahua. I always say it's really hard to milk those little devils. Okay, so this is pretty much done. I'm going to add Chipotle sauce. And a little bit of cilantro. Bring it right up close, so yeah.
Oh my
You
God.
have to take their word for it.
And it
Give them a
smells
So
delicious.
good.
Where's a good place?
Ooh.
Oil. I know.
Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to introduce the crew that you're going to be talking to today or seeing. I can call up crew here to know who they are.
Oh, she got it.
This is Nick Satora. Nick has been with me for a number of years. I've been in this business for a long time, and I've not met a better garmanger than Nick. He is on top of the game. He does all the smoking, all of the brining of our meats. Changed the game for us big time here at Take Five Cookery, and it's been great. And then I have my wife and longtime partner since 1985. And this is Lisa.
Hello.
And we're newlyweds for 4 years, but we've been together since 1985. I know, we're procrastinators. So anyway, what I'm going to do is, I know that we sent you a recipe for the pickled red onions. And that recipe is going to work for everybody who does it. But I think there's a lot of people out there that have a whipped cream canister that they can make homemade whipped cream in. I think they're very popular. They were popular for Christmas gift a while ago. Well, what you're actually holding in your hand is a whipping siphon. And a whipping siphon we use all the time to pickle, to flavor, to, we make our own chocolate vodka. We use this Peruvian chocolate nubs that we put in with the tequila, and we hit it with a couple of SO2 cartridges and let it sit for a while. We have chocolate tequila for our beans. Those are Drunken Beans, borrachos. So those are the beans that, Mary, you had for your party.
Yeah.
So that's how we make them. And it's a very consistent way to make beans in a Mexican household. There's one other thing that I like to talk about that we made changes a while ago, and this is going to look very mundane, but we use kosher salt. I got tired of throwing away dishes, sauces, and things like that because it's oversalted. There is agreement with most every professional chef that home chefs undersalt their food. So I encourage you to use salt, and I also encourage you to use, rather than pepper, which is very European, is find a heat that you like. And we do that here. Salt and pepper need a divorce. So, but salt and heat is very important. So I love this chili hatch powder. This is great. And Nick had me change my recipe to my, on my salsa fresca recipe. I said, that's untouchable. I've used that recipe for 25, 30 years. He says, yeah, but things change. Try it. And I did. And lo and behold, that's the new recipe with the hatch chili powder. So experiment with Mexican food. It's all there. Salt and pepper need a divorce. Heat needs to get in there. So I'm gonna turn it over because I get long. So I'm gonna turn it over to Nick. He's gonna show you how he's doing this with the whipping siphon. And by the end of our presentation, he's gonna pop it open. You have pickled red onions.
Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you, Nick.
Alright, so this is our basic pickled onion recipe that we play with all the time, but this is kind of a good starting point and standard. These are quick pickles, so they don't last forever, but around here they never last very long anyways. So just a refrigerator pickle with the whipping segment. Yeah, just about everything ready to go. We're going to fill it up first with our solid step. One of the things to make note of is that it's got a fill line. Make sure you don't go over the fill line where it's not going to pickle everything. Do this as gracefully as I possibly can. Which is to say, not at all. So, the components of our quick pickle, we use a little bit of white vinegar and a lot of lime juice. They're both pretty acidic. Either one could get the job done on its own, but this gives us some flavor. We're serving it with Mexican food or tacos today, so we want a little lime juice. Before that goes in, I'm going to do my dry spices. That's about as much as I can take. See, that's probably one giant onion, one really, really big red onion. Cut as thin as I can, but that'll get the whole process to work much quicker. And I like to bite into it on my taco. So, besides the onion, I have some quartered jalapeno. We just leave them whole with the seeds in there. That gives us some spice. Kevin likes to throw habaneros in, but I'm kind of a wuss, so I'm going to stick to one jalapeno. I have Mexican oregano, which is very floral. And one of the things Kevin has taught me about that I really think some people might not go out of their way to buy Mexican oregano, but as soon as you smell it, you'll never buy anything else again. Flowers and earthy and really delicious. All right, so then I have some salt and some sugar. That sort of tones down the acids. Add in there. That's about a tablespoon of salt and about a tablespoon of sugar. Normally I would taste it right in the bottle. Make sure it tastes like pickle I want to eat, and then you're done. You can do it just to flavor whatever your brine tastes like is what your pickles are going to taste like. Shake it up good. Now the vinegar to lime ratio is about 2 parts lime and 1 part vinegar. If you were to do it overnight, you could just do it in a plastic container and let it sit a little longer, but we're working with the whipping siphon here, so it'll be ready to share with our new friends before our presentation is done. About half. That's about a cup, and I'm looking for maybe another 2 cups. Just I want to bring it up to the max fill line. If you're using an ISI. Beautiful. And seal it up. Want to shake it really good because we're not heating it up. You want to try and get the salt and sugar dissolved as much as possible, and then the nitrous oxide cartridges will get it the rest of the way. So normally you should shake it for about 30 seconds. And then we're going to load these nitrous oxide charges, NO2. Takes 3 for a large load. The first one is to get all the extra air in there out. So I'll release some of the air, make sure everyone's still awake. And the other 2 are finished the job. Shaking as it done. So this is really convenient. Like we can make pickles if we have heads up, but you never know when you're going to run out. Or we put a surprise taco on the menu, and it's really great to be able to pump them out in 20 minutes. The longer you let it sit, the more pickled they'll become. But really 20-30 minutes, and we're pretty happy with what we get. So I'm just going to shake it, and we let it rest at room temperature for 20-30 minutes, and we'll open it up later and show you what we've got. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nick.
Oh, yes.
So this is an ISI whipping siphon, and probably a lot of the whipping siphons we have at home will be black. And the reason they're black is because they're only good cold. You can't warm them. If we're doing, you can do foams with these. So you need like a horseradish foam to go on top of your pastrami sandwich. You can do it with this, and you can have it hot because it is a hot or cold.
Where would you get it?
You can get them online.
Online?
Amazon carries these,
Okay.
but you know, ISI is the top end, just like anything, and also you got to make sure you don't get any Asian NO2s because they get funny flavors. So you want Western European or the United States of the NO2s, nitrous oxides. Okay, so I'm going to bring in my lovely and talented partner, Lisa, and she's going to make, right in front of you, the salsa you're enjoying at the table right now. So this one is our Cantina Salsa. If we were going to open up a Mexican restaurant, this would be our table salsa. You think it's good enough to be with it?
Yes, definitely.
Wonderful.
Wonderful.
How's the fruit, by the way?
So good.
So
It is
good.
delicious.
And it's not spicy like crazy.
No,
delicious.
Perfect.
And the shrimp is so well cooked. It's so good.
All right, I'll let
No, you can't leave because you're gonna enter my spices. So I'm gonna do the Cantina Salsa. Also, what I really love about it is we're gonna use canned fire roasted tomatoes. And what I love about it is that, you know, we only get fresh tomatoes for a couple months in the summertime and then they're gone. So this is an alternative and it's super fast and you get great salsa. So.
a lot of people ask, what can I do to be a better cook? And I tell one friend, the best thing you can do is start salting your pasta water. And then the second thing I say is you need to toast and do your own spices. If you're doing seeds, you can do them in a dry pan, and that's what we're doing here. But once this is done, and I put them in my molcajete, you're gonna get the aroma right over there. It's just that amazing. So this is cumin as part of the recipe. You need about a tablespoon. Get this pan a little warm, and what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to kind of judge the aroma coming out of the pan and keep it moving. But once it's done, like I'm getting an aroma right now of nice toasted cumin. So this is pretty much there. Only took a few seconds. So now I'm going to take it and I'm going to put it in my molcajete. And the first moves of your molcajete is just taking it and using gravity. Once you have it split up, you can start grinding it in.
Now, if you're in a hurry, you don't have to go through all that. You can just use your ground cumin is fine too. We tend to go right to the basics here at Take 5. We always do everything from scratch. So I'm going to do this real quick here. Blender, super easy. So I have 2 small jalapenos. We just cut them. We pull out the seeds and the membrane, and then just chop them up roughly. Those will go in there. I'm going to add my lime juice. I'm going to add my garlic. So we kind of just smashed it up to get it started.
Oh, wow.
And I'm just going to pulse this up and I'm going to get it going.
Any thought about what type of blender you use?
This is our Ninja. We love the Ninja.
I was talking to people about getting something more beefy than that.
Nice. We've been back to normal after COVID. Maybe we'll do that. Okay, so I have my jalapenos. They're chopped up they're kind of rough, but they're small enough. And I'm going to take this is 28 ounces of fire roasted diced tomatoes, and you can get them right in the grocery store. Okay. Add my salt and pepper, sugar, and Kevin is giving me, here's my spoons here.
Right here.
And a tablespoon of the cumin. It's another, funny spice that's not everybody likes. But it really has a nice flavor to it. It's a nice woodsy. I'm going to put this in. And depending on how you like your salsa, you like it kind of chunky, you just blend it a little bit. If you like it a little on the smoother side, which I do with the chip because it doesn't all fall off the chip, so I tend to do it a little longer. This was all measured for me, right? Just gonna put this in for a minute, just so I don't have to stir it up in the bowl. And the last thing I'm gonna do here. Pour it in a bowl. Dice me up some onions. I've got one small onion here. And that, again, you can chop it up a little chunky if you like. That thing gives you that little chunk. And mix it up. We are done. That's it. Simple, and it's just a beautiful flavor. And sometimes I might even roast the onions a little, and the jalapeno, I might just put them on, on the grill if I like. But basically, that's it, we're done. Salsa's ready.
Good, show it to the camera,
Yeah.
because the color is beautiful.
Yeah.
Just gorgeous color on it.
And super simple, can you see? Simple, super
Yeah.
simple.
Yeah.
And you ladies have some in front of you with your
Yes.
chips, so enjoy it.
It's delicious, delicious.
Next. That's it. But then you can go on to your next.
So, let's see.
Kevin, before you go on to your next thing, can you tell us, how did you come up with the name, Take Five Cookery? How long have you guys been here? And can you tell us also a little bit about the boxes that you are offering?
Yes, I was just about getting to get into this. When we started in 2002, my friend and ex-partner, Vince LaBeouf. Vince is a long-time West Hartford native. Now lives in Farmington with his wife. Two girls were grown and married. Vince was the front of the house, and of course I was the back of the house. And we worked together as a team. Vince was in charge of all the catering. He made sure the sandwiches got on time and got to where they were supposed to go. We would put together catering orders in a day of over 200 sandwiches. And it's just amazing how he put it all together and allowed me to be creative. About 2004, 2005, I went to Vince. I said, Vince, I'm tired of this stuff that we buy. They call luncheon meat. We get Boar's Head. We get stuff from Cisco, the high-end brand. We get stuff from somebody else, and then we buy supermarket brands. It's all pumped to the hilt. It's all loaded up with salts, stuff that I can't control. So I said, I want to do our own. And he said, okay, so what's it going to take? I said, it's going to take a guy, and it's going to take a smoking oven, and I got Nick, and I got 2 smoking ovens because it was so good. And you know, we do all our own pastrami's, all our own corned beef. We do all the meats that we can do, including pork bellies and things like that for specials, and smoked turkeys, regular turkeys. The only thing that we can't do is, because we don't have the walk-in space, is to be able to do a ham. We can do it, but it takes over 30 days. So we changed the deli meat. We changed how the people perceived it. They got to see the quality that we're doing and the difference that it made from our stuff to what other people do. The other thing too is we have stayed to the standard of a quarter pound per sandwich since we're here, and everybody else has gone 3 ounces, 2.5 ounces, but we won't. It's just, and we've kept the prices pretty clean. Also, that year, Lisa and I started farming from an acre of land that was gifted to us by the Nowak family in Weathersfield. And we had 125 tomato plants. We had a large catalog of squashes and chilies and stuff like papalo that I can't buy, stuff like the diesel plant, Borracho Speeds uses. So we pretty much changed that whole situation. And we also brought our stuff in for sale. And believe me, Lisa's flowers were absolutely gorgeous. And it's just one of the things she loves to do. And we would bring them in and people would put them on the desk, but there's a lot of times that people come in and say, I'm having a terrible day. We just handed them and say, hopefully your day gets better. And that happened more than 25, 30 times. So that was interesting.
The name came
Pardon me?
from. Where the name came from.
Oh, where the name came from. Okay, thank you, sorry. So my partner Vince was a big Dave Brubeck fan. And Dave Brubeck wrote a song called Take 5. And he was not supposed to be able to write a jazz song in 5/5 time. And I happened to work for one of the best chefs in the West Coast named Jean-Luc Chassereau. And I opened Cookery with him. And I worked with him, and he was tough. He was an old brigade chef who, you had to toe the line, you're in trouble. But I learned a ton. And when I left there, he says, you keep making sauces, you'll make money. And
And then you married the name.
then I married the name together, Cookery. Because Cookery in French really means kitchen. So,
Can I talk about the boxes?
yes.
Okay, you asked a question about our boxes. So
Yes.
Sardilli, who's been our produce company since we opened 20 years ago, they started a program during COVID where no one could get groceries, and they were stuck with millions of dollars in their warehouse. So they came up with this curbside pickup, and the family box sort of grew out of that. So what they've done is they partnered with restaurants in Hartford, and they asked us to do a family box. Didn't really know what we were getting into, but we said, we'll do 150 street taco boxes. And we sold, it went online on Thursday, mid-afternoon. We were sold out Monday morning. So we've done 2 boxes with them so far, and we're getting ready to do our 3rd box at the beginning of November. But we decided to take it one step further and do them in-house as well. So we have a lot of people in the building that can't make it to Sardilli, so we offer it, plus we always make a little bit more. And then every week we're running our own inside family dinner box. So this week's family dinner box is a seafood box that we're doing. And it won't be on the Sardilli website, but you can go on our website and order them, and you can pick up Thursday and Friday. So it's been a great partnership with Sardilli's, and they're really helping us out in a lot of restaurants in Hartford. So I would definitely suggest going on their website and checking it out. I've heard from numerous people that it is seamless when you drive up. You drive up, open your trunk, put it in, and you're off.
It
So,
is.
Yeah,
That's how I heard about you
That's how
guys.
you heard
I've
about
enjoyed
Taco
2 Sardilli boxes, and they have it down to a science.
Yeah. So thank you very much. So that's our box.
Thank you. That's how I learned about you guys.
Okay, so my poblanos and my Anaheims took a walk someplace. Oh, they're here. I'm sorry. So this is going to be Rajas con crema. And
Can you spell it for me so I'll put it in for everyone?
Rajas space con with crema. CREMA. So this is how I deal with this is how I deal with a poblano. I take the top off and I go straight down the side. And I take the seeds out. Thank you. And rajas basically just means strips. This is a huge dish in all of Mexico. And this is an Anaheim Chili, again, right down the center. And obviously, when I get to the onion, we'll talk about the onion a little bit, because most people are cutting onions at home. They have tears in their eyes and they can't cut onions here. And it's probably, in my guesstimation, is that your knife isn't real sharp, 1, so you're bruising it rather than cutting through it. Or 2, you're cutting across the grain. From stem to stem, onions have their juices like this, top, bottom of the onion, where the thing comes up. Well, the juices come this way. So if you cut across, you've opened up all the juice lines. So if you cut in rings, you're going to have tears real quick. This, by cutting it the way we're going to cut it, you kind of avoid that. But I still go back to more than likely your knife isn't sharp enough. Here, everybody has stones and everybody's real serious about keeping their knives going. So that and then this onion. So I said top and bottom. This rajas con crema is really, when I have my Cinco de Mayo parties at the house, this is one of them is a big hit. So if I was cutting it this way, I'm opening up all those tear ducts. All right, we're there. Yellow hot pan going in. And that's our rajas to start. Add a little thyme, a little Mexican oregano. And this Mexican oregano was a little bit rougher. So you gotta, Nick used one that was a little bit smaller. This one, I like this one because I can get it in my hands and really move it around and really pick up some flavor. Now, we talked about doing whole spices and toasting them beforehand. Well, when you're doing spices that are crushed, you kind of need to get the rubber fat. Kind of need to get them in the fat you're cooking. In other words, you're using olive oil and you have chili powder. You want to get it in the olive oil first. You don't want to throw it in at the end because you really want to bloom the spices. That's what you're doing when you toast it and you're blooming and you bring out the flavor. As I brought that over to you, and you got the aroma coming out, that was pretty intense. And that's just a few seeds. Okay, so while that's cooking, I'm going to go in and make my sneak peek. Sneak peek, X-N-I-P-E-C. Sneak peek, X-N-I-P-E-C. It means the dog's nose.
X-N-I-T-E-C?
X-N-I, P as in Paul, E-C.
And it means dog's nose?
It means the nose of the dog.
And it's a pepper? Is that what it is?
Nope, it's the name of the salsa.
Oh, okay.
And so this is a habanero salsa. But believe me, it's the famous salsa of the whole staff. And I'm only going to use half. And I cut it so small. We give this a little attention. Okay, so it starts off with 2 small tomatoes, half of a habanero chili. This is actually from recent in my house garden. And then it has this kind of cool stuff here, where this is all hand cut. It's radish.
Oh, radish. Okay.
So when I cut this radish, start here, you get a good spot for it to lay down flat, so it's not rolling around on me. And I just cut down. little bit. You got a landing spot? Just stacking and cutting them all. Take 5 nice radishes. You do this habanero. Set right here. Tomato, cilantro, and one of the items that it calls for in the recipe is sour oranges, and they're really hard to find. Last one I found at T-Town in Hartford here, and it's pretty dry. So I'm adding crema to this. This is the lime crema you had in your box. Same one. Now we're not gonna bring that over because you're gonna have it with your tacos. Okay, so that'll be part of the taco. Alrighty. Let me see. I did that now. Oh, here's the sneak peek. So I'm gonna add a little bit of cilantro, some salt, and because I don't have a sour lime or sour lemon, I'm going to use 1 and 1, half an orange and a lime. Nick has one that's dedicated orange squeezer. It's much bigger than my lime squeezer here. Salt, pepper, cilantro. Get a spoon. Salt. Kind of about that. So Lisa and I went to a forum where they had 3 chefs there. And I know I mentioned something before, but the question was, what's the difference between professional cooking and home cooking? And everyone said at the same time, salt.
Two thumbs up.
So attacking a jalapeno when you don't want the seeds, just go right down the sides, 4 sides, and you don't like waste here, so I take the bottom out. Seeds, pop them all out. Take the top off. And I'm going to just slice like this, right down. It's nice and thin. How are we doing on time?
We're good. This is wonderful.
All right. So here is nicely sliced jalapenos. Molcajita, please. Got it. Got it. I've never shown anybody this. Best way to take a pit off your knife is to push it off like that. A lot less drama. So this is the original barn cider recipe that we used way back in Boston with this guacamole. Is this good fun? No, sorry. All right, Nick, you get your chicken? So I'm using this nice, my favorite toy at the restaurant. It's called the make guacamole. So I'm going to use it through most of the process, but you got to remember a couple things. One, I have cumin in the bottom, which I said, okay, that's good, right? And then the second thing is I can't use this the whole way because I have to put my finishing touches, but I can get a little Mexican oregano. That's the secret. Salt and pepper. This guy's the bomb. It's really good. It's really good. Oh, this is the hash chili I was talking about. Remember? Salt and pepper needed a horse. Well, this does a nice job doing that. That's the hash chili powder. Your chips ready over there? Mm-hmm. Fine. Good. Awesome.
Kevin, it was what kind of chili powder? Hash, you said?
Hatch,
Hatch?
yes. Hatch, New Mexico. I have this other chili. It's really interesting. It's called a jalapeño, and it's in one small. Yeah, it's in one small valley in northern Mexico.
Oh, can I bring it up here?
We just want
Okay, while they're
people to see
eating,
it.
I'll probably show you what we're making a taco out of.
This is
Oh,
a
yeah, close up.
close up.
Very green, very refreshing.
Excuse me.
But we are making tacos, and we're gonna show you one of the ways we do ours. And we're talking to some people who have a lot of experience and are gonna make their own chili rubs. But we might also be talking to some people who want Tuesday night tacos. So I have my favorite green Sazon Tropical spice rub here. And we're gonna turn that into our chicken for our tacos. We're gonna season it under the skin, and then we'll roast it in the oven until it's all done. So this is a technique Kevin showed me to make sure the whole thing is covered. I'm gonna get that into a side pan. Let's see. So the first thing we do is we peel back the skin. I know some people are freaked out about touching chickens, but this is the best tool for the job. Just want to reach in between the meat and the top layer of skin. You're going to feel like a membrane. And you just want to clear it all out, and that's going to allow us to get the spices right in contact with the meat. You're not going to run off the top of the skin when you cook it, and it's going to get everywhere. You can reach down into the thighs, all the way down the breast, get both sides. And you're really going to notice that every bite you take is going to be well seasoned. So that's the first part of that process. The second is using a spoon. Unless you have really, really small hands, it's hard to get all the way into the chicken. So what I do is I start with my spoon up, put it in upright, and then I'll tip it while it's underneath and drag it out. And that's going to cover just about everything. I can get all the way down into the crook of the thighs, all the way to the end of the breast meat. And that's going to make sure every bite you get is completely seasoned. So I do the same thing for my Thanksgiving turkey coming up. Set with butter and rosemary and thyme. But it really makes a difference to be able to get every square inch of your chicken. So wiggle your spoon in there, flip it, and use it as an extension of your hand. So it's simple things like that that are going to make the biggest difference.
I want you to notice also that Nick is working from a pristine mothership to something here. Like he'll never dip his spoon in where we call it the mothership. It's the original slice. He'll always put it in another
Container, no cross-contamination. We're going to avoid going straight back to the bottom. Right.
You got to remember that at home. It's important. A lot of people get excited about making a chicken. One other thing too is, we do this and we love it, but if you don't have time at home, I'm talking off camera.
We want to
Throwing my voice.
Yes.
Well, that's it. We're going to show you what it looks like when it's done pretty soon.
So if you don't have time at home to do something like that, I understand it doesn't always work. And you've cooked a lot during this whole time, and you're about done. You can use grocery store chicken. It works just as good. It's fine. because all the flavor is going to come from the other sauces we showed you. So you can get kind of like a basic grocery store chicken and just put all your sauces on it, and you're going to love it. It's exciting. And it's super easy. So, is there any questions?
Yeah, we're going to unmute everybody.
Okay. So, just one thing. Here's the finished product. Roasted chicken.
We roasted it for about an hour and 15 minutes.
Let it rest for 20.
At 400 degrees, 425. Then we let it rest. And now we would pull it. We like the texture we get, and the fact that we can mix light and dark meat. You get everything you like all together. So I would just start by breaking the bones apart. I hope you can see I seasoned this just like you. Every inch, every cranny, nook and cranny is covered in the spice mix. You're gonna get to taste that in your tacos. Nice crispy skin. I'll break it down by and then we just start pouring.
Okay, if people have questions, is that okay?
Yes, I love it.
Okay. Please feel free to ask questions.
You'll have to unmute yourself to
Right.
ask the questions. Does anybody have a question for Chef Kevin?
Kevin, do you have a different box every week?
Yes, we do.
And-
This week we're doing, if you go on to take5cookbook.com and it says order online, this week we're doing a stuffed sole box. And it's served with rice. It has a lemon thyme sauce, has dessert, and you can get as an add-on our new clam chowder. Took third in the United States for the best clam chowder, and also you can add on Chef Man's shrimp cocktail with salsa de la playa made with Chef Man's sauce.
So this week is
And how many people does it feed? What is the?
Well, I think Mara can tell you that it easily fed the whole family plus. It's our portions are very large, probably larger than most of the other boxes.
8 people, it's like 8 portions.
Eight people,
Gigantic.
Mara said she fed.
Yeah.
And how do you decide what you're going to put in the different the boxes? Is it by seasonal or just what you're interested in?
All the above actually. This week we're going to have we've got some beautiful butternut squash from our farmer in Farmington. So we're going to roast that squash to go along with the fish. It's going to be stuffed with scallops and shrimp. Lisa's still working on the dessert because we have to change it up here and there. So last week we ran a apple, what was it?
apple crisp.
Apple crisp, yeah. And that was very popular.
Very crispy, very good.
Yeah.
We've got maybe some meatloaf coming and then the lasagnas.
Yes.
So I was looking for the beginning of November.
So Sardilli's, we have a box every single week. When we do Sardilli's, which we're going to do on November 4th, on November 22nd, and on December 3rd, when we do a box for them, we sell the box here also. But when we're not doing sardellis, because they kind of round up, you know, a bunch of different restaurants and give everybody a turn. And believe me, Sardellis is very keen on making sure that the restaurant that gets the boxes are hurting. There's some restaurants out there that want boxes, and he says, you guys are full every night, you know? So they're going after supporting us who are really hurting, and that's special. They don't have to do that.
Yeah, your sardelli boxes were excellent.
Oh, thank you. Anything you would like?
No, everything was delicious.
Okay, thanks. That made my day.
We
Do
got
you
a-
ever do like, since you have all the smoking ovens, do you ever do any like a barbecue box or something like that?
Oh yeah, maybe. My guy Nick saw during his video does these half barbecue chickens to die for. They're really, really good, and that's on the list to do. Sorry, Nick. no, it is. It is on our get it done. And you know, we just did a pulled pork in house. Was it?
Yeah, it was just in-house, not the sardelli, but we did about 30 pork boxes a few weeks ago, so
Right.
give it a little more time and we'll bring it back around this year.
All right, good. Yeah, no, you know, we like to support you. You're really doing an excellent job.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you very much.
Really appreciate that.
Our director of the Bloomfield Public Library, Elizabeth Lane, said we are hungry and inspired. And
We have a question. What are two popular Christmas dishes that Lupe and Pauline will most likely serve?
Let's reach it back. Everybody ever invited for Christmas?
No, because
You haven't been able to have much of a conversation?
at least I don't get invited for stuff like that because we caught.
Yeah, they would have.
No, we've gone for some really great. I mean, we do a lot of sous vide here at the restaurant, and we've given our friends some sous vide boxes, and they're really into it. So anything that's sous vide, we're on top of. But some friends of ours really made some beautiful scallops, and that would be my, you know, some nice dry scallops, big ones, nicely sauteed. That would be a great Christmas dinner.
how many years have you been in this location?
18
Wow.
years.
And then you across the street, right?
Right. I started with Vince in 1997, and I was we hit it off really well right away. And Vince used to say, I always was afraid of what my employees were taking out of the restaurant when I wasn't here. I'm worried about what you're bringing in. So we hit it off in about after 3 weeks. I said to him, I go, so Vince, how committed you are to this light mayonnaise? And he goes, I think people really like the light mayonnaise. What do you think? I said, I think it's nasty, and I want to change it. He goes, okay. So we changed it, and 3 weeks later, he goes, let's become partners. And that's how it started.
Any more questions? Does anybody want to ask questions? Now's the time.
And we'll be sending the recipes out tonight, right after this. Plus, this is being recorded and it will go on YouTube for sure. But if you have any other questions, please put it into the chat or tell us. Otherwise, we are good. We appreciate everybody coming.
Yeah. Thank you guys. Thank you for everything. Really appreciate you visiting us at Take Five
Oh,
Cookery.
okay.
One of the watchers wants to know, tell us, you said scallops and you said what, something else besides
Scallops and
scallops.
what? She was having trouble hearing it, I guess. For the scallop for Christmas, scallops and
Oh, just let me saute. That's it.
Oh.
You know, lightly sauteed.
Okay, great. So scallops lightly sauteed
Yeah, and butter and wine,
and butter and wine.
and a little bit of salt and a heat.
Okay.
All right, great. It has been a pure pleasure. I encourage everybody to come over. And if there are no further questions, we will call it a night.
Yes.
It's been wonderful. We have been spoiled rotten. Any other questions?
No. Okay. Thank you, Kevin. It has
Thank
been
you. Thank you very much.
wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks so much.